So my conversation with you today doesn't necessarily come from me. It comes from somebody who said, "Hey, Andile, can you please tackle this particular challenge?" And I think,
Wow. Okay.
and I thought it actually works out so well because today, two South African women are in court, trying to change the laws of South Africa because they they've agreed with their husbands that their husbands are keen and are more than willing to change their surnames to suit the women, because the women are saying we can't change our surnames. I'm the only child at home. I'm the last of my people, and the husbands have said it's fine. I'll change my surname to yours, baby. But the law in South Africa does not allow that. The law in South Africa, there was a ruling, and the law in South Africa doesn't allow it, so they're challenging that. Could be a thing. So the guy said, Andile, I mean, this is a coincidence that happened, but said, I'm struggling with my partner. We're supposed to have been married. But we are still not married. We keep pushing the date. We love each other. But there's one issue and challenge that we have come across. I've said, if I'm marrying you and I'm keeping to the traditions of what your family are saying marriage is, which is uklawula, which is inkomo, which is ilobola, that entire nine, then I want it fully so. You must change your surname. To which she's saying,
Double
babe,
barrel?
I don't mind doubly barring it. I don't even mind putting yours first. So I'm Ncube Mangope. But I can't not have your full surname. Some is because I'm a doctor and my family's never had a doctor. They like that. I know it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Where the father says, yeah, but I've always wanted a Ncube doctor.
Yeah.
Or the person themselves wants that. Or others are just like, no, I can't let go of my surname because I've made a name with the surname. And the guy's saying, no, if you're going to marry me, it says in the Bible, which we are going to be married under.
Leave and cleave?
You leave and cleave.
For the man, that is.
For the man. I am now your family. But if you are still a Mangope, how are you a leaver and cleaver? So I ask you today, what are your thoughts on that? Because there are men who don't mind the double barrel. There are men who don't even mind if you keep your surname as what it was. But for those that are adamant to say, how are we in a relationship of a traditional form where the traditions were exchanged in me marrying you, but you still want to remain with your surname? Surely this is a pivotal, and for me, it's one of those things that even could be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Where are you with that?
So I'm going to be so blunt with this one. Do you know that this came up with an ex of mine? We even broke up, hence why he's my ex. Where the issue around surname was particularly a big one, saying that the same things that you've said, if I'm going to pay lobola and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this for you, your surname must change. And I rebutted by saying, you must understand, it doesn't mean that we're not going to live together. It doesn't mean that we're not going to, there are contracts that are not going to be going into it. It doesn't mean that I respect you any less. It doesn't mean, I in fact was the one that was saying, can we please double barrel? And he was like, nope, you gotta, if you want to be with me, you gotta have the surname. And I think that, and long story short, he's now my ex. But I think that it depends on the couple, to be honest with you, very, very honest, because I'm a brand by myself.
Why are you so adamant?
Well, number one, I built this. I'm a brand, I'm a personality. I've got more of a public personality.
Faith, I don't
want to.
And there's been hundreds of people that have made their names in the personality industry,
100%,
and they've changed their names, and we've gone with it.
Exactly, but for me,
so what is it about it for you?
But for me personally, right, with where I want to go in my life, with where I aspire to be in my life, not now, maybe in 10 years' time. I want to still hold Mangope and have your surname. And for me, I said, I am that person that said, listen, I would love to double barrel. I don't even mind being Mangope whoever. I'm okay with that. But I must understand that I also want to.
And the Mangope comes first, mind you.
Yeah, Mangope comes first because I take it from the perspective that Mangope would be my maiden surname, and then whoever it is that you are will be my surname. So you can call me Mrs. whoever, but Mangope will be Mangope whatever, right? That will be the double barrel that I even propose. And we didn't align. We didn't. And part of one of the reasons why we didn't align, and long story short, he's now my ex. Because for me it was, I am an individual, I am a personality, and I do understand, even for doctors, females who are doctors, there is some pride that goes into that. And it's not to say that we don't respect you, it's not to say that we don't love you. I do think that this one is one where, if it doesn't align with you, truly, if you don't align on this, you will fight about it, and there'll be a lot
But
of
what is the
resentment.
fundamental decision? What is
There's
this
a-
fundamental within you that's not allowing you to fully be engulfed in what marriage is supposed to be, and in becoming one
But
with
marriage
me?
is not my surname. Marriage is my commitment to you. Marriage is me having your children.
So you wanna
Marriage
have-
is
you wanna
me
do it
building
half?
No, I'm not doing it half. I'm already married to you.
Yeah, but
I'm having your children.
con-
I'm living in your home. I'm being your wife. Unless, of course, you define being your wife by me having your last name. If that
It's
is
part
not-
of it, and I do.
Okay, well, if it's part of it, then don't be with me. Be with somebody who can say, Andile, I'm fine
Did
with
you
being
really
Mrs.
love me?
Ncube."
If the fact that you don't want to change your surname to Ncube is going to be the deal breaker that separates two people that were headed to the aisle.
Well, then I can ask you, do you really love me? That the one thing that is going to keep me and you apart, and the one thing that we are not even willing to compromise on, is a surname. Do you really love me? Do you want me as your wife,
But you're
as
the
your
one breaking
partner, as
tradition.
your mother of your children, or do you want me as your missus? You must decide. Because again, you must also go into context. Why is it that surnames were adopted in the very first place? Why? If we have to really go back and in terms of why is it that we're having, and historically as to what was the reason why, is because it was the transfer of ownership, and actually was called the transfer of custodianship. The woman was raised in the parents' household under the surname of the father. She was then transferred, because women didn't even have rights back in those days. She was then transferred into the custodianship of the husband, right?
Yeah.
Of the husband. So a woman basically was taken as an asset of the father into the asset of the husband. I'm not your asset, Andile, I'm your partner. So if you want an asset, that's okay, but I'm not your asset. If being your wife is defined by me having your surname and that's it, then it's okay. Find a woman who'll be okay with that. But if you want me to be your wife, the mother of your children, your partner, be okay with the fact that I'm saying I want to be Mrs. Ncube, but can I please be Mrs. Mangope Ncube?
I'm second even.